Welcome to a Friday evening. Went to the company today to drop off Christmas gifts. Apparently, liquor is still a popular Christmas item. Oh, a little bit of grit on my desktop here. Yeah. So, the items that came in. First one, we have. This is a Uno Mini Limited Edition. This is supposed to be, I think, number 61. Meaning it's like the 61 version count. So let's have a look at it. Nice little box. Oh, no, sorry. This is 685. I thought it was 61. This is to celebrate, I think it's like 20 years or 25 years of Arduino. So, let's see if we can get this out. Oh, I shifted a bit in travel. I don't think there's anything under here. Nope, just a box. So this is it. Tiny little Uno. Now, of course, someone pointed this out. I'm going to have an issue here putting anything into here because a standard DuPont, let me just get one here. These guys in here. Let's pull one out here, just a sec. Okay. So this is a standard DuPont. And let me just brighten things up a little bit. Okay. Doesn't fit the holes. Ah! So, how do you plug anything into this? We have all the same pinning, including edge connectors here. Those indented, that right there. So, then we have these little caps on here to protect the pins. So, the real trick here, how on earth do you do it? So, I'll have to check and see if I can get wires with that fine of a pinning on it. So what we have here, we'll put that in there. So for the moment, you'll have just to stay in this box. Put it over there. So yes, I'll have to figure that out. But it's supposed to behave just like an Uno, but I think it has more room in it than an Uno. I think it has more RAM. And of course, had to get some more stuff from Adafruit. My Adafruit addiction continues. Let's see. A bit of that, a bit of that, a bit of that. Very sealed box. Very sealed. Ah, okay. There we go. So we still have more cutting to do. Down there. Down there. Okay. So what have we got in here today? So I have those Pi badges and stuff like that. They all have a spot for this speaker. So I bought some speakers. And a Metro Mini. And as usual, I buy 2 of everything. A couple of Metro M0s. And then, what is this one? CD Uno. Oh yeah, the expansion board. Okay, what else we got in here? ESP32S2 Feather. Should be 2 of them. Yeah, this is the one that was on back order. They didn't have the BM. No, I'm still too bright now. They didn't have the BME 280. So, and then this guy here was a little shield that you can put something in. If I remember correctly, this was also out on back order last time I wanted it. Now they had some stock of it. So, there you go. So you can put your cutie pie on here. I'm pretty sure that's what you can put on here. You got a battery thingy, a SD card thingy, and then a bunch of control stuff. So, 0 expansion board. So let's find. We'll find out. Pink feather number 2. So now I have 2 pink feathers. This one is MSA 311. I think this is the magnet. Might be the magnetic sensor. Can't remember. Then we got 2 of them. This is the free item, the temperature humidity sensor, AH220. Metro S1s, S2s, to go along with the other Metros. Now this one here, I have my other screwdriver set, very, very old, very, very missing again. No, here it is. So I have this one. This came from, a friend got it for me, and it came from this woodworking shop here in Calgary. I can't remember the name, down in the southeast. And I've had it for 25 years. But I wanted another set because I have misplaced this set before. And basically this is exactly the same idea. Except it has a couple of other types of tools in here that this one doesn't have. So this one, we get our usual Phillips in here. Oh, interesting. They show pictures of others on here, but that's not what it has. But basically it's the same set as mine. Same idea. So now I have a second set for here. Okay, and then we have these 2, the puffy stuff, and of course the paperwork, which will just go into the paperwork holder down here. And this can go. I'll have to disintegrate that box. Now this was was also on out of stock. Now it finally came in stock again. This is cool. So we get our little card. Whoa, that's a small font. In the back side of our card, I think I like this card better. It's bigger. This one's a little tight on the side to fit the box. This one's a better reference card. But. This is, I really like this idea. See if I can get it out. There we go. Let's brighten it up a little bit. That's right, boys and girls. We get to put a Pico on here and have a full breakout, all the little connectors and everything. So let's go find a Pico here. I have them over here. This has to come down. Here we go. 0, 0, 0, 0. Nope, these are all zeros. Well, that won't do, will it? We need Picos. And this is all Adafruit connector. I don't think there's any Picos in here. No. How about here? Arduinos, M4s, displays. Well, we do have a Pico here. So what we'll do here is get our pry tool here to lift this up. Yes, the breadboard is really, really new, so it's very stiff at the moment. It's okay. This was the GPS thing I was playing with. So, here we go. So, USB to this end. Like so. Cool. We have SD card. We have audio. Speaker on and off. GP 20, 21, 22 run. ESP01 antenna. GP28 Grove connectors, which are really I2C connectors. 1, 2, 3, 4 wires. Yeah. So you need the Grove to I2C cables. And I think I have a pinning kit for this, so I can actually make the kit. Speaker. Debug. Yeah, this is really nice. Nice board. Very nice. And if I remember correctly on this thing, where's my little sample cable again? Here. I think you can actually get this on like so. Yeah, like so. So for example, I want to tap into this. So you take ground, for example, here. There's actually a reset thing or a run pin. This run is actually reset, and it goes here. And ground here, for example. If you short these two out, you reboot the Pico. But this is really, really nice. And I do like the backside. It has all the things. Cut to disable GPIO LEDs. No, I don't think I'll cut the GPIO LEDs. I think you can actually have what the hell is this is for? The ESP01 antenna. That implies wireless in here. But what the hell? We'll leave it on there. And we'll just put it back in. Fold the bag up. Put it in here. Whoops, don't drop it. Put it in here. Put this in here. And I'll just put it over here with the cameras. Whoops, that came out really easily. Let's put this on the bottom. Like so. And then we'll turn this around like so, and then I can actually close the lid a little more. And that can go in here. So that Pico card goes there. So I've got two of them. I have another one here. And for the moment, what we should do is, and we go to here. So microcontrollers. So 4775. Okay, and let me just change. There we go. Let's go to Adafruit. No, the shop. There we go. Ooh, Christmassy pictures. Hey, that's cool. Maybe I'll have to do that one. Yeah, so I think on the Uno, this is the type of pitch, 0.05 pitch through hole. So very, 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 very tiny. So we are looking for 4775, and I have a piece of solder in my way. 4775. So we have this guy here. Control C, and we'll go back over here. And Adafruit, and up here. Oops, Control Z, Control V. We have 4775. We have 2. We do not have it as a kit. It's not really a kit. There's no assembly. And I cannot remember if this one comes with stemma ports already on it too. Let's check. Feet. Yes, it does. One I2C port right here. Right there. So this is what the board looks like. So it's like an Arduino, but it uses ESP32 on it. So that's what this is. Okay, we have 2 of them. And we go back to 7. So yes. Okay, Our next candidate here is 3505. So let's go back to here and go here. 3505. This guy. Control C. And we go back to the spreadsheet. Control V. And we will add 3505. 3505. I was looking at the Google Sites thing. If you don't know what it is, it's actually available to anyone. It allows you to build a website that hangs out of your Google Drive. And I was thinking of building one. Sorry, it is assembled. Yes. And so, and it looks fairly straightforward on how to do it. I was debating how to do it. I was maybe going to 1-in-1. So here's so the black one is the M0, the purple one is the M4. They always lay out things very nicely on here. Very nicely done. I do have the cable set in the programmer for here, so yeah, I can actually come in. Ooh, nice. Okay, we put that in there. Those are the feeties if we need them. I don't think I put feet on any of them. So there were 2 of those. So I'm going back to the website. There we go. We've got these in here. And, oh, I was going to look for stemma port. Sorry. I do not see one on here. No I2C ports. So no, this does not have a stemma on board. I mean, it has I2C. Don't get me wrong, right? But it doesn't have a dedicated stemma QT port. That's what I was looking for. Okay, so we have here Metro Minis. So they're kind of like Arduino Minis. So let's go over here and let us go back to this. And our code for the day here is 2590. Yes, any of the stuff I have here, you can find them by their product code number, which is really cool. Adafruit's done a pretty good job with this. I didn't know they had this in here. An unpinned MicroPython, version 1.1. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so that's the spreadsheet. And a Control V. And what did I say? 25, yeah, 2590. Like so. We have 2. Yes, it's a kit. I have to assemble it. No, it's not assembled. And does it have a stemma port on it? I believe it doesn't. Nope. It does not. Okay. And there's 2 of them in here, so they need assembly. Okay, so then I have this one. So this one's a little harder to find for some reason. I don't think Adafruit has a code on here. No. SEED. Whoops. What did I just type? Okay, I haven't typed anything good. SEED seed UINO. Yeah, see? This guy here works with a cutie pie. Control C. Okay. And we go back to our spreadsheet here, and we'll add it in here. Now, technically, this is not a microcontroller. This is under miscellaneous. This is, yeah, like this. Control V. And This was actually part 5033 on their site. 5033. I have 2, and it's all pre-assembled, so it's not a kit. It is assembled, and yes, it has stemma ports on it. Okay, so those 2. Okay. Now we have sensors here. I think I already have this sensor. We'll find out in a sec here. This sensor. Okay, let's go to sensors. So what are we looking for? AHT20. What? I don't actually have it? Nope. 4566. I don't have it. They actually gave me one that I don't have. Last time they didn't. Okay, that's good. So let's go to here, and we want 4566. This guy right here. Control C. Go to the spreadsheet, add it in. We said 4566. We have 2. And yes, you have to put them together. No, it's not assembled. And yes, it has the ports on it. So that can go in here. Then we have these ones here. The MS that. So 53, no, MSA311. I don't think I have an MSA311. I don't see it in here. Nope. I'm pretty sure I didn't have it. Okay. So we need to be down here, and we need to go back to Adafruit. And it's going to be 5309. 5309. That guy. Triple axis, blah, blah, blah. Now, one of the guys at work was messing with a 3D printer, and he was trying to figure out a, I guess there was a modification you could do using one of these things to figure out exactly and make the whole thing work faster and more precisely. He hasn't given me all the details yet, but I think he was dealing with something like this. Control V, and it was 5309, 5309. It was 2. It was a kit. It's not assembled, and yes, it has stemma on it. Okay. Okay. Then we have our controller. It's our pinky feather. This one is $52.99. Where's $52.99? That's not good. This is a Feather RP2040. So there's the regular one. Are you telling me I didn't put one in here, the special one? Control F. Find $52.99. Nope, I did not. Okay, that's not good. I know I have 2 of them. I missed one. Okay. $52.99. Control C, and we go back to the spreadsheet, and we go up here, and we Control V, and we take this part off. We don't need to know that. Then I said $52.99. I have 2 of them. Yes, they're a kit. No. Yes. I'm pretty sure these have stemma ports on them. Yep. And assembled one so far. Okay. That's my buying that much. Okay, then we have here ESP32S2 feathers. 5303. 5303. Nope, don't have that in there. Okay. Down to the bottom here and go back to this. And 53. This was out of stock also, and then it became back in stock. Yeah, as I mentioned, the BME 280 that's built on board. Control C. That's a sensor, kind of like an atmospheric temperature, humidity thing, just like the standalone version. So we have here 5303, 5303. We have 2. Whoops. Oh, that's fine. Yes, it's a kit. No, they're not assembled. Yes, they have stemma. Okay, so those 2. And then we have the Pi Pico Matrix boardy thingy, and we need to find that in, because Adafruit did not put their number on here. Okay, no problem. So we are going to go find Maker Pi Pico. Maker Pi. There we go. So I believe I have also the I believe I bought this one too. The motor control one. Yes, so I have the motor control one. It was this one that wasn't in stock. Of course, the Pico's not included. They could make this $15 and add the Pico, right? That's all it costs, $5 for the Pico. Okay, so back to the spreadsheet. This is not a controller. This is under miscellaneous stuff. And we're not searching anymore. So it's going to be here, Control V. And what was the code number for this? 5160. 5160. We have 2 of them. No, it's not a kit. Yes, it's assembled. And yes, it does have. But it has, what do they call them? It has a name for those ports. They're not Adafruit's version of the port. They are, whoops. They are what's known as Grove ports. They have Grove I2C ports. Lots of them. So that one, as I said, we had to make a cable conversion for that to use our stemma stuff. So a little teeny weeny too bigger. Last little miscellaneous piece in here would be miscellaneous stuff. Yeah, okay. So last but least, item number 4227. 4227. Mini oval speakle. There we go. Control C. And I want to put some of these on the Pi badges. There's a spot for them. So, Control V. And what did it just say? 4227. 4227. And I have, I believe, 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of them. And no, they're not a kit. And yes, they're assembled. And no, they're not. They don't need to be that. I do have a thing where it is a little sound speaker thingy with that hooks by I2C. So you put all that in there, and we'll just hang our cable back up here. So that is the stuff. Now, dum 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 dum. So some updates on the Christmas tree. I found some more flaws in it. There must be at least 4 or 5 LEDs on the thing that don't work properly. They're very dim. I don't know if they're faulty LEDs. These guys right here. So I don't know if these LEDs are not very good. They are actually tricolor LEDs. So there's actually 3 LEDs in one in here. With only 2 pins. I think the way they do this one, I have to look this up, but I believe if you vary the voltage on it, you'll get different lights. Or the other one is just pure random. You power it on and one of the 3 lights will light up. Could be based on temperature, I don't know. So, now where is my other thing I was working on? I put it somewhere. So the Apple One replica isn't working, but I was working on another item, and where did I shove it? Aha! This guy here. I've made progress on this guy. This is a cob panel I had just simply haven't put together. I've been debating how to light this desktop a little better. I'm always having to fiddle with brightness up on the camera there because you get white and it's too white, right? Now I'm not sure if playing with contrast or something like that on the camera will help. Properties. So there is a brightness saturation, like so. Here, let me just move this down. There's a contrast, like so, more washed out. So you get this sort of effect. Saturation. That doesn't seem to do much. Hue. Sure, I have green skin. Woo. Now this is green. This is purple. You get the idea. It could be a bit of gamma. Like so. It's not bad. It's still a little glary on the white here. Exposure. There's not much control on this. Like, I mean, on exposure, you get almost off on a bit. Yeah, there's a bit of zoom in here. So I can even get closer. Oh, no. But, yeah, anything white, of course, it really reflects back highly. So then I have to turn down the aperture a little bit, like so. But then we get a little bit dark on the desktop. So it's an ongoing thing I'm working on. But this guy here. So I have been working on this. I am a lot more understanding exactly what's going on in this thing. Now, all I can say is, if you want to mess with matrices like this, all color, go to the Neos. Yes, use a NeoPixel version. It'll work a lot easier than this one does. I'm just going to put this on the floor. Oh, I got too much stuff up there. This is too heavy. And let's see. I had here. Oh, I think they're in here. Yeah. So, as I said, if you want to mess with matrices, do these RGB ones. This happens to be a Raspberry Pi hat. This is another version of that. These are monocolored things. These guys right here. Okay. Now this thing is just full here. This thing is just full of mostly the monos and a few others in here. So these guys here have their own little control chip. This is easy to work with. Oops, I slipped this one out of the bag again. Actually, those matrices don't even belong in this bin. They belong in the other bin. But at the moment, they're in there. Adafruit Braincraft hat. I don't know what that is at the moment. Let's put that in there. So let me put this aside for just a sec. I think in this bin. Yeah, okay. So in here, we've got things like this. More of these. This is a square pixel. This is 2 shift registers. Haven't messed with it yet, but here, I think this is the one. Yeah, so this guy here, for example, fits on an Arduino. You can see the holes at the top right here, and the holes here. They fit on top of an Arduino. So that's that type. And then it's this type here. If you really want to mess with this is your friend right here. So you have an in and out, and you can chain panels together. Okay. You can actually take this piece off here, right? But this is easy to address. Like everything in this thing is super easy. What did I do with the bag? I just took it out of the bag. Oh, down there. Okay, so this is all big snake. So starting at 1, ending at 64. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 by 8, 64. This is also 8 by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 8, 64. But this, you only need 3 wires to work it, and each of these is addressable by a simple number. I want to turn pixel number 32 on, and I want this color, blah. It's easy, easy, easy. So if you're doing this sort of stuff, this is the one to mess with. And you really want to be easy, you can put this together, this guy here, right, and stick it on a Metro, like say an M4 or something like that, right? And I don't know if I have one in here. I don't. Oops, I just dropped that in. Didn't mean to do that. Oh, there was one other item I actually came in. It's just an Rgb Matrix thing. You've seen them before. I have them. So and did I do something with that? Okay, let's just put that back over here. So this guy uses shift registers to do everything, and we're going to plug it in. If I can just find the right end over here. No, USB-C is no good, William. Let us find a little tiny USB 2.0. There we go. What it's supposed to be doing now. See, this is the problem with this thing. You're loading up 32 bits at a time to drive effectively one row. So where's my little pointy stick here? So for example, you want to drive this row right here. So this is the funky thing. So there's 4 shift registers on the back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. One shift register deals with a row. Now, that's a bit of an interpretation because if I have it oriented one way, that would be considered a row. If I have it oriented this way, that would be considered a column. So just to know, the last, no, and this is where it gets tricky. And I happen to have, let's go open this up. I have this, like so, yeah, RP Pico. So I'm going to just open this up in code here. I think you can see it on one of the other cameras. So where's my code? 2? Yes, there we are. File, open folder, CircuitPy. No, sorry. File, open workspace. Thank you. CircuitPy, Pico, open. Okay. Now, we're going to get a bundle update here by the looks of it, and we might end up with yellow code over here. Okay, so 2021-08-15. And this was the message. It was 2021 12/17. So I'm going to change this right here so that we're up to date in here. 12/17. I need to put a bug in for this so that it gets done properly. Control S. There we go. Because the workspace file, oh, it's not even updated either. So 17. There we go. Now, what I was messing with the other day is trying to flip 2 alien thingies. So let me find that wiki page I had open. I had a wiki page open. Yeah, here we go. So this is a very, very rare page. It actually got updated a couple of times. So that's the thing. That's what we're looking at. That thing here. Okay. Now, ideally, they're driving this thing from an Arduino or a Raspberry Pi. So you see some samples here of what they're trying to do. Heart. This is text scrolling by, right? So what I did is I found they actually added this to this. If you scroll down to the bottom of the wiki page, there's Arduino, how to light up, blah, 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 blah. Pico. Right? But the code they're using here on the Pico is MicroPython. So I converted the code to CircuitPython. CircuitPython has slightly different commands for some of this stuff. But this stuff here, right, is the same right here. See? Aliens. I just happen to call mine Alien 1, Alien 2, blah, blah, blah. But you can see all that type of code is basically the same. But to me, some of the stuff did not make sense. So I'm looking at this here, the 0, 1, 2, 3 arrays, right? So they're filling one set of bits with FF, which is 255, or 11111111 in binary. And then there's filling this one also with that. And then this one is this for loop counts, 1, 2, 3, right? They're calling up that Alien 2 array right there. Alien 2, they're calling first C3, then 42, then 3C, then 42, 99, 1 by 1 by 1 by 1, okay? And then here, what they are doing is they're shifting this by 1. So this here is actually the row piece. Okay. Now what I did in mine to understand this better is I I thought I had some notes in here. Where did my notes go? No. Oh boy. I'm missing my notes. I had a whole pile of notes in here. What did I do? What did I do? Nothing in trashes. Uh-oh. Not good. Not good at all. That is wrong. Session restored from 2012 at 16. Oh, damn it. I am missing a chunk of notes on this. This is not good. Where did it go? Do I have it in here? No. What I'm looking at is so let's look at 3. Let's see if I have a backup. That is not good. I'm really annoyed that I misplaced it. It's a macro pad. Picos. RPI Pico Circuit Python. B1. Open with Notepad QQ. Nope. Open with Notepad QQ. Nope, that's an old backup. Oh, this is rotten. Very rotten. I'm unhappy. Where the hell did it go? Let's see something here. This is not good. Frick. This is real old code. I'm sure I did a different one. Do I have a different one doing this? I had more than one of them up and running. Where did I do that? I was pretty sure. Oh, wait. We do have another one here. Just hold on to your horsies. Maybe I've got the wrong one. Maybe I was doing this from the Metro. Okay, so let us file close workspace on this one. And then here we will safely remove the drive. Okay, pull the plug on this one. And we will do this one. Yeah, that might be the better one to work with. So, mount that one. Yeah, that might look a lot better. File, open workspace, CircuitPy, the Metro. Yeah, here we are. This is more of my notes and work in it. So what we're looking at here, let me just go to pure code window here. What we're looking at here is, this is the interesting stuff right here. Okay. Yeah, this is definitely what I was working on. So 4 shift registers. Now, there's a thing in computers known as Little Endian and Big Endian. And I believe if you read from, I think I'm just going to check right now. If you read from the right going to the left, you're one form of the Endian. Let me just find it. So, big N is the order in which the big N, most significant value of the sequence, is stored first. The lowest storage address. Little endian is in the order in which the little n, least significant value, is in the sequence, is stored first. So, in this case, you are pushing this byte right here. That 0, for example. Then a 1, then a 0, blah, 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 going all the way over to here. So, we are pushing 32 bits into the 4 shift registers. Now, they're chained together. So shift register is changed to 0, is changed to 1, that's changed to 2, that's changed to 3. Okay? So as you push everything into the thing, okay, this is actually the last stuff you push in, the second last, third last, this is the first, right here. Okay? Because you start and you push. Okay? And this row here this is what the row thing I was getting at. So I was messing here. I'm just going to comment out, what's a big comment? Single quotes here. There we go. Control S. Okay. So what I've done here is I kind of mapped out a table. So here's those alien values again, right? And what we have here is a translation, this hex into decimal, basically, what we're doing. So we have to push 8 sets of this data out. And one of the sets happens to be C3. That's this guy right here. Okay, that's the other 2, and this is the row counter. Now, you must notice the row counter doesn't count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It actually counts 1, 2, 4, 8, 6. It's in base 2. So I wrote some loops, blah, 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 to test this out. And at the moment, I'm not doing anything. Oh, that's because I have a while true loop in here. So, and again, I think this is where I changed things. Let me just, oops. Oh, okay. Settings JSON. I know what you want. Did I say 17? Yeah. 12, 17. 17, Control S. Code 2 is complaining about an indentation. Why? No, what's code 1 playing? Unexpected. Line 112. What are you complaining about? Yeah. There we go. Okay, that's better. Wildcard import board. What the heck? Oh, that's code 2. Let's just get code 2 out of there. There we go. Terminal. Okay. So you can see here, yeah, it's kind of bright. And then, let me borrow this up here. So what we have here is a shape being drawn. Now, unlike the NeoPixel stuff, this requires persistence of vision work, meaning you have to send it fast enough, but not too fast and not too slow. So what we're doing here is clearing. This is our loop for the rows, and this is how we set everything. Now, this is the tricky part I found out. I thought at first the first 8 bits for red, and then the 8 bits for green, and then the 8 bits for blue, right, represented, 255 colors. That is incorrect. Only 4 of the bits determine color. The other 4 bits determine along here how it's lit. So you can see this here. We need to actually just change this line for a sec. I'm going to change it to a test line that I was using before. Because it's really hard to do this one here. So we're not going to do is this 255s minus loop 1 blah blah. We're just going to mess with a row at the time here. So in fact, we are going to do this. Control C, and we are going to place that in here on the square brackets. Control V, like so. Okay, so you can see 1 pixel's lit, and in fact it is, depending how you look at this, row 2 column 2 pixel. So if I change this over here on the end, this is the row thing, 0, and I go 1, Control S, I just moved the pixel down by 1 onto the first row. So this represents the row. But right here. So there's an issue though. How do you know if you want 2 rows lit? Let's say I want the top row and the bottom row at these 2 pixels, for example, this 2 sets lit. Well, if you do this effect in here like that, now we have 2 lit. So this particular bit pattern matches out exactly which row. So if you want the bottom 4 rows, for example, like so, There, bottom 4 rows. Now we have 4 plus the 1. But what they're really doing here is you're adding. If I want, and I can change this in here. I'm actually going to just make this another comment so that I can reference it back again because my memory is failing me. Control Z, Control V, and a hash mark. So if we go to the end here, instead of doing a binary number here, we do 128. Okay. Well, if you want row 1 and row 8, that light on, it's 128 plus 1. So this range thing here, do I have the notes for that in here? This. So if I add 1 and 128 for 129 here, we just turned on 2. That's right. You have to add them all together. So if you add them all together, 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 8 plus 16, you get the trick. You end up with 255. All of them are lit in that row. Now, that just deals with the row. This does not deal with the position in the row. So over here, right now, we have... and this is dumb too. See, these are all 1s in here. You'd think they'd be all 0s. So if we make them all 1s, we just turn them all off. If we make them 0s, we turn things on. Now, if we go like this, 1, 2, 3, 4 binary 0s, we just turned on all this red. Okay? Go like this. We've turned on everything. Now you're saying, wait a minute, you said 4 bytes. That's true. All I did was turn on the thing. I actually technically haven't really set the color because color involves the other one. So let's us change here in the next color. Just for your reference here, I'll just put it on the end. Red, green, blue, rose. Okay? And we come along here and I'm going to make the first one a 0. Notice nothing really much changed in here. Now, let's make more of 0s here. Still not working. This is what I ran into. It was inconsistent in what I wanted to do. Let's change the end one here. And now I'm going to go back here and make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There you go. Now we have blue. Because I turned off the red pixel. And I turned on the blue pixel. But you're saying, well, what if you want another color in there? Right? What if I say 0 in there? Now we have another color. If we turn on the first bit, there we go. Now it works. Now, let's make this a 1. Make this a 1. And Control S. So, we have this one here. But what if we want a row to be blue and a row to be red? I mean, this is where this is 250. I have to actually use a calculator, but I think it's 254. We haven't actually got to 255. So let me change this. Instead of being binary, let's do decimal in here for blue. 128. Now these are all blue, but this is a blue and red combination on this side. Yeah, I can't do much. The little webcams don't do it this stuff justice. Let's see if I can change the camera to the overhead one. Paste cam, extra cam, like a media source. I think that's what I want. And existing, and I'll say top cam, and I'll change this to be a lot smaller. And I will turn off the extra cam, and I'll park this in the corner here. And let's see, a little too much. There we go. And I'll lock the camera. So now we can actually see. So we have blue here and red there with blue in it. You can actually see the 2 pixels are actually on in there. Okay. Now, what happens if we change this 128 to 129? Now you see this became completely red. So 4 bits are actually controlling the color. If we make this 1, we've turned on this row. We make it 128. We've turned on this row. So you can see in here that we are doing position. And making the position change is making the color change too. Because now we're positioning everything under with the red turned on. Let me go turn on... so right now we have all these blues on. So what happens if we do 255, right? 254. There we go. So numbers below 128 can control position. So you could go like this, and you could say 255 minus whatever the value is. Let's say 8, right? Now we've moved here. And if we say change the row, so on the rows we have 255. So let's make the row 128. There we go. Now we have only 1 pixel on the top row. If we make this row count 1, we're at the bottom. Okay, with blue over here on position 5 and red on position 8. This is kind of mirrored. Just a sec, let me see if I can turn it around here. Interesting. Let me just turn the brightness a little bit up. There we go. So we're mirrored here. I wonder if I can change that. Top cam, properties, filters. Is it in properties? Is there a mirror? No, it's not in here. Top cam, filters. No, not that. Close, close. I'm sure there was transform order. I was sure I saw a mirror once. Resize output, no. Deinterlacing, no. Filters. Order, up, down, transform. Edit a transform. Let me just see if turning the camera off for a sec, and let me see if I can now change the There's a rotate in here. Well, I can't do it. Well, at least I don't know why I can't do it. I have to dig into it. Anyway, so we've got these 2 pixels here, blue and red. I'm sorry the blue looks a little white on the camera. It's probably because the camera is so... So we know that basically half the number up to 128 does one thing. After 128 does another thing. So this is where I started getting, my mind started turning to mush on this. So at full 255, all the pixels are off. At 0, all of them should be on that row. There we go. And the last color changed. It went to more blue mixed red in it. Okay. So we can move the row around. But once we get past 128, we start turning multiple rows on. So 129 is 2 rows. Now, I found manipulating the row is probably easier done with bit pattern. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like so. Colors, on the other hand, we need to do position and color. So and you can see how just doing that turned off all the blue, but on the 2 reds are on. So let's change this back to be 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, like so. See how it doesn't. And I also found sometimes I have to oh, I need to connect to the serial monitor. Sorry, Metro. There we go. Yeah, so this is where I kind of got to. I'm still trying to decipher mixing, moving the pixel to changing the color in the pixel. See, this is the annoying part. I should be manipulating the blue pixel, but I'm not. It's not doing its stuff. Right? There, blue's on that one. So see, and the dumb thing is, if you, this is what I don't understand about this, is that if I was to do the green pixel now, you can see this one's now a yellow color. Well, it's not, to me it's a yellow color. And the blue got extremely dim. But I didn't turn the blue off. So in theory, I have a red turned on, a blue turned on, and a green turned on. Now I had it so that I figured out kind of how to position the colors. Similar how the row one works. So I got 3 blues on basically, but this is what's driving me batty, is that and the persistence of color problem, where you have to drive all the rows, like you can constantly have to send all correctly. So to me, this is almost this panel to me is almost a dead end. It's more work than it's actually worth working on. I mean, I've deciphered a lot of it, but it's a lot easier to do the other ones. Just a sec here. Do I have it in here? I think I have it in here. So yeah, I do, right here. I have both of them here. I don't think actually I can drive that one yet. I have to get a power supply for it. But these two I can definitely manipulate. So we have here, and I'll just turn the brightness up. So what we have here is a NeoPixel on a Metro M4, and we have a Feather RP 2040 driving a dotstar wing right here. Okay, so let's do this one first. I'm going to first close this all off because I don't want to wreck it. File, close port workspace, and here safely remove, and we'll take this one offline. Okay, now this one, let's put this one on. Okay, so let us open this, and then we will open the workspace file. Open workspace, CircuitPy, Metro M Express, open. Now first I have to clean up a couple of things in here, of course. So we got a yellow. We have to put 1217 into here, so let me just fix this. And 1217, 1217, Control S, save the file. That clears the yellow, but I do want to do the workspace file too. I'm pretty sure it's off. Yeah. No, it got it right this time. See, this is the sometimes it gets this right, and sometimes it doesn't get this right. But it's good now. It's fine. So we just have their sample code in here. So this is what you. Oh, sorry. This is what you import. You don't even need time per se. We're all using time because we're cycling through some stuff. So you determine the control pin. Now on these boards, one of the pins, D6 in here, up here, I believe, this one right there. That's where D6 lives, digital IO6. You tell it what that's the one you're on this board. So it's actually marked on here somewhere. Adafruit Neos Pixel, and there is a spot that tells you where it is. I can't remember. I think it might be on the back side, but it tells you which is the data pin that you need to worry about. Now you need to tell it how many Neos. This has 40. And remember what I said: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And goes back 16, 24, 32, 40. Okay. This controls the order of the NeoPixels. Now, Adafruit's one is red, green, blue, but there are 2 other orders here: red, green, blue, white, green, red, blue, white, and there's also green, red, blue. Now, if you go to AliExpress and you get a board, like I have some here, you could run into that issue. And it's really easy. You just change the thing and it works. This thing is just cycling through colors, basically. Can I do this? Yeah, there you go. Let me push this back over here. You can see the colors. So what they're done here is just some looping, and input a value 0 to 250 to get a color value. Right? And then you do this sort of thing. Pixel fill, color value, blah, 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 time to sleep, pixels to show, right? It's actually really straightforward to code this stuff here. So you can tell here we are sending 4 bits of data basically instead of 3. And this is just determining what position you're in and stuff like it's. You can figure this out pretty easily. They're just setting red, green, blue to 0, for example. They're starting the position 0 or position blah in the colored length. It's fairly straightforward. This makes really easy to code. And this is no different doing strips, bigger matrices of neos. They all work exactly the same way. In fact, you can take this off this board. I could wire up one of the ones with the 3 wires, and it would do exactly the same thing. Power, and I put it on 6, change the count, it would do exactly the same thing. So let us close this workspace out. File, close workspace, and we'll release the directory. Do safely remove. And we will go to the feather here. And I think my feather is USB-C. So we actually need the other cable. Let's see if I have it still working. I might not. We'll find out in a sec here. Okay, now open the workspace, and we will open CircuitPy. We'll open that one, and we'll say open. Okay, so we just need to check settings JSON and fix this file. 1217. I was thinking of just telling him what he should be doing here is how Linux does soft links to libraries. This should be a soft link to the directory that gets changed all the time. And he just keeps updating the soft link, and then this doesn't have to change at all. Control S. And let's just check workspace. Yeah, that's okay, updated. Okay, good. So I had this working before. I wonder if I just screwed it up. I had this working just fine, but I might have put a wire in the wrong place. I don't think... Yeah. Oh, there it is. Let's dim this out a bit. You kind of see it. It should be a lot brighter. Let me change the brightness here. I have a capacitance problem here in this board. One of these wires is loose. There we go. So we're just randomly lighting up the pixels. And that's all the code there is right here. Now I wonder if I change this to... Let's change this without the 32 on it. And 128. We're all red. There should be a reason we were not red. 255. I used to have this all blinking all different colors, but I must have screwed something up. Why are we all red? Oh, no, there's some other colors. There we go. There we go. Is that too bright? Yeah, no. This is too bright. But it's cycling through all the colors. Here, let me do that. Let's see if that helps. There we go. So I have a wire problem somewhere. But this is another panel that's easy to work with. So they had 0 through 7 and whoops times 32. That's even more brilliant. There you go. Kind of like Captain Kirk's ship. The computer. Computer. Wonder which is the troublesome wire here. Green? I'm pretty sure it's on this side. Why is this side... There we go. There we go. Touching the damn gray wire. Yeah, these DuPont connecting wires are not so great at times. Well, what you can do with this, here, just have to play it safe here. File, close workspace. Safely remove, because I need to power down for a sec. Okay, so what we do is we take these all off, like so. We take this out of here. And let me just zoom the light. So we're taking this out. And it's a feather, so this can go right on top of the feather like so. Okay, and let's just go load it up. And open the workspace again. I think I have to change a pin here. Open workspace from file. CircuitPy code open. So the way this works is dotstar .board MOZ, and I have 72 brightness 1. Let me just close the workspace. They're going to cause a problem with the let me just unplug and plug back in again. So I was using the I2C interface. There's a way you just put this on the top of the feather and it'll just work. I think I screwed around with the code a little bit to do it the wire way. Open workspace, CircuitPy, open. Oops, didn't mean that. Can you do this, please? Thank you. Okay, so I think I have this wrong. I think I have the SCK and the Mosey. I need to change that. So what we need is another dotstar for a sec to and where is those dotstars? I think they're over. Yeah, here they are. I need the pin numbers off them. So I have another dotstar in here. And what we need, and I need another feather, I think. Do I have the feather guide? I thought I had the picture of the feather pinouts. I'm pretty sure I have the wrong stuff here. I was messing around. Let me try just something simple here. Rem out, Control S. There we go. I was messing. Now notice how slow this is to change everything. The other one was a lot faster. So this is doing it differently. And I believe we might be connected by SPI, not I2C. That's why I had the wires, these wires here, on the thing, because otherwise it looks like this. It's too slow. There is a way of making this faster, and it has to deal with which pins you're coming into. Let me just see if I have in the feather directory, home, work, controllers, feather RP2040. Yeah. Oh, two different feathers. Okay. So we have this type right here. So 13, we're doing pin 13 and we're doing pin 11. So pin 13 and pin 11. Now I was doing this through SCK and Mosey. So SCK and Mosey. So what we want here, oh, sorry, you're not seeing this. Let me go 3 there. So right now we have pin 13 and pin 11. Pin 13 being any one of these things. So if we want SCK, there's SCK1 up there, SCK0 down here, which is pin 29. Right. If you put the hat on here, it wasn't going right. 13 and 11 weren't. These are guys are SCL and these are definitely, I think, SPI connections. SCL 0 and SDA 0. 13 and 12? Yeah. So I would have to mess with it, but that's what happens when you put it directly on the thing versus running it off the pins, and then you put the pins here and you change over to SCK Mosey instead of 13 and 11. And I'm pretty sure 13 and 11 here is SCL and SDA. So this is like SCL, SDA. And I believe this is SPI, whereas this one is clock control, MOSI, and I believe this is I2C. No, they're saying here SCK Mosey is hardware. So I wonder if 1311 is the other one. Just a sec. Let's find out something here. That's not quite right. Doink. And we're not 30 pins. We're 72 pins. We need to connect to the monitor here. Control D, Control CCC. Yeah, see. Yeah, so it's easy to program, but you gotta get the pins right for what interface you're using. I think if I put this on a feather that's not a RP2040, but it's a one of the SAMD's ones or the Atmel, whatever they are, it behaves differently than the RP2040. And I think it's because the RP2040 pins are slightly in a different position than the those. Mainly this stuff here, 13 and 11. GP13. I wonder. That's the other thing too. You got to watch out on the thing. So let me just go back here, rem this out, come back to here. It's not D13, GP13. Not D11, GP11. We don't have a 13? Sure we did. Interesting. It is correct, but usually when it goes purple, it goes like that. It's right. SCL1 on 11, 12, 13. Oops. Thank you. Cannot remember this. Where's that Adafruit pin out? I need to move it to another screen for a sec. So, SCL0. Oh, there's no SCL0. Well, but you get the idea of what has to happen. I should have fiddled with this a little bit, get this working again on the top of this. As I said, I think it might be that if I put it on a feather with not the RP2040's pins, but the thing. So if we go and file, close workspace, and we go back to stop, safely remove, and we just unplug it, and then we take off the hat again, and we put it back into here, and then we need some power. So we need ground, and 3.3, and if we come over here to, I think it's battery enable USB. I actually need the diagram for the NeoPixel dot pixels. So I need you dot star, and I need let's try feather. There we go, Adafruit feathering dot star. So what we need out of this thing is no, I need the actual feather dot star stuff. Yeah, there we go. So we need where's our wiring diagram? Well, they've changed the code. They have changed the code. Let us change the code ourselves. put that on. I'll copy this code. And we will go plug this back in. And we will go and mount this. And then we will go here and we'll open the workspace. And I will open up CircuitPy code workspace open. And we will rename this code 4. We will add code.py and we'll control V here. Okay, so we were missing a thing here. Okay, that's no problem. We need an update. Let's try again. Come on. Don't need the repo to be out of whack here. Let's say install, and we want to install this guy right here. Why are we having a download problem? That's asked for Bose. What are we complaining about here? Let's go. Why are we down bundling 6X bundle? Oh boy. Okay, just a sec. I think this RP needs an update, a fix. So file, close workspace, just a sec. Save. There we go. And let us safely remove this. Pull the power on it, and I'll take the hat off for a sec. What we need to do on here is boot select reset, I think it is. So do we get no? Okay, let's try this one. There we go. RP, we boot, we go to here, the macro, backup one, and we go and find Arduino, Pico, Adafruit. No, where is it? Arduino RP2040. Now, no, Adafruit RP2040. Feather, right there. Do we have a 7.0 in here? Yes, we do. Copy. And we reprogram this. Paste one file. Ta-da! And it should restart. There we go. We open it up. We go back to here. This one. Still having a trouble. Dash dash verbose. What is going on? Why are we trying to download the bundle 6X? We should not be downloading bundle 6x. Tags have no update. Use bundles. Yeah. Media Williams have a NeoPixel Pi. Oh. Okay, we have a problem in the directory. Just a sec. Let's just refresh that folder. Why is the lib directory full of crap? Why is a code pi in here? Okay. Before we do this, Control A, Control C, and we go to Feather RP, and we make a new folder called BU4. Control V, and we come back here and Control doink delete. Whoops, I meant to actually permanently delete. Damn it. I hate that when it does that. Where's the trash can? Empty trash. Okay. Delete the trash can off here. Okay. So let's go and try this again. No, we're still pulling a pi because we're reading something from somewhere. So we downloaded the bundle properly, saved it to there. Why are we downloading the 6th bundle? Of course not. Oh, why? Why are you trying? Oh, I wonder if I have to update this tool itself. Let's see. And you're not seeing much because I'm not showing the desktop. Here we go. I'm having all these errors right here. Normally this works just flawless, but update circ UP. What are we actually at? Pip 3 update. Let's try that. Nope. Yes, okay, fine, whatever. We're still flaking out because we're still trying to get the 6x MPY file, and I wonder why we're doing this. I am going to copy that link address, and I'm going to go to the browser here just for a second, check that directory. Not found. I'm not... No, you stupid thing! I didn't say that. I said just this path, you damn idiot. Page is broken. Come on. What's going on? Come on. What's going on? Okay, I see the 7 stuff. Why is it trying to pull the 6? Why are you trying to download the 6? And of course, it doesn't exist there. Well, I have to update the feather, have to put the libraries back in, yada yada yada. But first I have to figure out why. I think Adafruit's got a broken thing. Circup is not up. Release history. Why is mine 911 and this one is 101? Damn it. Why is mine showing 911? See? 911. I've got the wrong frickin' version in here. Can I not? Ah. Can I do a reinstall? No. Ah, I hate that when pip does this. Pip update a package, please. Install. And let's try upgrade. There we go. Now let's try this. That suck or something. Oh. That's much better. Okay. Now let's go into our lib directory here. No, we need so what did we have installed into here? I need to move this out of the way actually. Okay, so okay, we need to do that. So we got bus device, we got dotstar, pixbuff, featherwing. I don't have display text, so I'm going to add that. Adafruit underscore display underscore text. Okay, and then IO underscore, because I was messing with SH1107. And I was messing with 1306. These are matrices, LCD screens. They changed the file name. SSD. Duh. Display IO SSD. 1306. Try that. There we go. And I got dotstar. I got pixel buff already. Yes. I got dotstar. Yes. I don't have NeoPixel. So install NeoPixel. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we have all of it installed. Let's put this on. And let us... Yeah, let me guess. I just blew things up a little bit. There. I might have actually broken things. D message. Nope. fsck.fat dev sdb1. Yes, remove the dirty bit. Perform the fix, please. Okay. Safely remove. This is what happens when you don't do this properly. There we go. Okay, so back to here. Back to workspace. Open the workspace file again. Go to CircuitPy. Open that one. That's better. Now, now we're going in reverse here. You can go back onto this screen, but minimized. And I don't need you, 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 and I don't need you. I do need you. So the basics. Okay, download file. So copy code, Control A, Control V, Control S. In D13, D11. Now, is this on a Featherwing? Okay, we have a problem here. I'm pretty sure it's the RP2040 crap that's not working right. It's the pins, and it's driving me nuts here. I'm pretty sure I'm not supposed to use 13 in that one. This is why I wired it differently. So if we were to do this off of here, let me just see, 3.3 volt is 2 pins here, so it doesn't matter. And then off the next one is ground. And that's going to go over here to voltage. So battery enable USB. No, it's going to go over here. I said white was 3.3 volts. So we're talking pin, this one right here. And then the next pin over. Okay. And then we need the reset pin, which is the green one. And we need to go over here to... Oh, we just caused a reset in this thing. Ah, son of a bitch. Yes. I know you're upset, you stupid thing. This is where you get dirty file systems because you dismounted it incorrectly. Mount it again. So green is reset. It should go over here. Sorry guys, I have to get close to this. So that's that. And the next pin should be voltage. Come on! You're utterly sensitive to this. And then we need, on the other side here, we need skip 3. We want 13 and 11. So 1, 2, 3. And on this side, we want skip 3 and orange. 1, 2, 3, orange. And skip 1. Damn it. I know it's the frickin' pinning on this RP2040. It's like frickin' drives me nuts. If you go to the other side of this diagram and you go find SCK Mosey, which is 29 and 30. So we have to find 29 and 30 here. And if we go down here, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That one. And possibly, no, beside it, that one. And then in here, we're not doing D13, we're doing SCK, and we should be doing Mosey. Discard. This is the frickin' thing. We're not mounted. Here we go. Try again. Come on. Reset. Oh, come on. Well, guess I'm not working it right. Why? Okay, well, it's already been 2 hours and 15 minutes, so I'm going to cut it here. I have to work on this. I've gotten it working before. It's just the frickin' pins. It's just like doesn't match up properly, and I don't know why. The code's easy. The pins are hard. Why? I don't know. So I will let you go for the moment. And if I get this all working, I'll show it again. I should be able to get it all working.